Hello, Goodwill, Kentucky. My name is Steve Preston, and I am the president and CEO of Goodwill Industries International. And I'm thrilled to be celebrating the Centennial anniversary of Goodwill Industries of Kentucky. Congratulations to Amy Luttrell and the entire Kentucky team for making such an extraordinary impact on individuals and communities throughout Kentucky. I want to pause for just a second and contemplate the outcomes from 100 years of investing in your community. Just think about the accumulated stories of lives changed, the amplified impact on families over many generations, and the broader contribution to a healthy, flourishing community. You know, the Goodwill movement started only 20 years before that in 1902. Our founder, Edgar J. Helms, was a Methodist minister who started a mission serving the poor in Boston in many different ways. Now, one of the things he did was to collect clothing and redistribute it to the poor. Then he realized, we could create jobs if we had people mend and clean and resell that clothing, and by doing so, provide a way for them to support themselves and their families. He believed deeply in the potential within every one of us, and he was absolutely tireless in advancing opportunities for people to realize their potential. Most of us at Goodwill are very familiar with his most famous quote. He said, "Friends of Goodwill, be dissatisfied with your work until every person in your community has the opportunity to develop to their fullest usefulness and enjoy a maximum of abundant living." Now, a century later, there is still power in those words. And I want to point out three superlatives that he uses. First of all, he says, reach every person. He didn't want anybody to be left behind. Then he said, help people realize their fullest potential, because there's so much potential there, and we don't want to leave people midway on the journey when there's so much more ahead. And then he said, never be satisfied until our work is done, because the need is so great. One of the reasons Reverend Helms committed his life to the mission, I believe, is because he knew the power of work in the life of the individual. He knew just how special work can be. Work provides self-sufficiency, allowing us to provide for ourselves and our families. And work is where we engage our talents, where we get a sense of accomplishment, where we can continue to develop and grow and build a sense of self-esteem by contributing. And it's a place where we work together and find community. And I think because of all of those factors, work is ultimately a critical part of human flourishing. And I think that's what we all want, right? That's what I want. I want to flourish in my life. Today, Goodwill supports people in a number of ways. Our network of 154 local organizations employs over 130,000 people in 3,300 stores. And we provide various forms of support to more than 2 million people. And some of that support, or a significant portion of that support, includes job training skills, job readiness, job placement, and other things that help people move forward in the pathway of their lives. Over 80% of the people we serve have a high school degree or less, so our support meets a critical educational need. Over half the people represent racial and ethnic minorities, and tens of thousands of people we serve are veterans, people who've been impacted by the justice system, and people with disabilities. And countless people we serve are suffering from the vice of addiction. And you all know this well because of your remarkable response to the opioid epidemic in Kentucky by supporting people in recovery as they work so hard to put their lives together. You all are taking the handoff from drug treatment agencies and helping people move forward beyond the shackles of addiction. Our collective impact is massive, but as you all know, what is so exciting is seeing that impact on one individual and one life at a time. Every time we hear from someone who's changed the course of their lives, aided by your support, we all know why we're here. Kentucky is certainly fulfilling Reverend Helms' call to serve and keeping his legacy strong and growing it. So thank you again to the entire Kentucky team for the remarkable work you're doing. Congratulations on 100 years of helping people to change their lives. And we look so much forward to what the future holds as you continue to serve and impact people in your communities.